Retirement investing is a long-term thing, so really put that intention that you're gonna start investing today. At the end of this video, you have your retirement accounts and then you have everything else, and we'll talk about that. Hi everyone, in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about how you can get started investing as a beginner today with as little as $50 in your wallet, and really walking you through the basic steps on how anyone can get started with investing, whether you're beginner, advanced, have no knowledge in finance. So if you wanna get started with investing, this video is for you. For those of you who are new to my channel, hi everyone, I'm Sarah. I'm a chartered financial analyst, worked on Wall Street for a couple years as a stock research analyst and in investment banking, and I want to help you guys achieve your finance and career goals. So please go ahead and keep watching if you're interested in getting started with investing today. So I'd say the very first thing for you to do is to actually get started and start investing. The earlier you start, the better, the higher returns you can make, and really essentially the more time you have for your money to grow and what we call in investments compounding. So get started really today. Even if you have $50 that you have to invest, get started and start investing that $50 now. Whatever it is, I really would recommend that you get started, whether that's $50 or $5,000 or $500,000, however much you have money to invest, go ahead and really put that intention that you're gonna start investing today at the end of this video, because the earlier you start, the more money you have, opportunity to earn money. Better late than never, but earlier is better than later. So step number 2 is to choose how much money you want to invest. So I'd say the best way to start doing this is looking at, your monthly take-home income, how much money are you making from your jobs, your side hustles, etc., and looking what your expenses are, and looking at, after all those expenses, how much money do you have left to really put aside and save and invest. I'd say a good rule of thumb is probably 10 to 15% of your monthly income if you're able to do so. If you have student loans or mortgage payments, etc., that might be a little bit more difficult, but I'd say a good rule of thumb is about 10 to 15% of your monthly income is a good place to start to invest. So step number 3 is actually opening up your investment account and investing. The way I would look at investing is just to clear everything up, especially for beginners in investing. You have your retirement accounts and then you have everything else, and we'll talk about that. I'd say for retirement, there's also 2 possibilities that you can further break down that retirement account. It can be your employer-sponsored account, such as a 401k, or an individual retirement place account, like an IRA, which is what it actually stands for, IRA, individual retirement account. First, I'm going to be talking about your employer-sponsored account. So usually what they'll have is an employer-sponsored 401k, something you hear about all the time. So the best thing about a 401k, it actually has tax benefits to it. So it lowers your taxable income. If you're making $100,000 a year, for example, and you invest $20,000 of that into a 401k, you're only going to be taxed on $80,000, not $100,000. So that's the beauty of a 401k. You do get tax benefits, and a lot of times your employer will actually match a percentage of how much money you're putting away, and that's literally free money. Your employer's matching the money that you're putting aside, and it's really silly not to take use of it. However, something to note is if you choose to withdraw money from this 401k account before you retire, let's say you really need the money, there is a penalty that's associated with taking out money before retirement. So that is something to consider. So if you're going to be putting money away for an entire retirement account, note that there are penalties in withdrawing money before retirement. So that's definitely something for you to consider. So another option for retirement accounts, if you've matched out your 401k and there's no more that you can put in there, or if your employer doesn't offer one and you want to invest individually, you can open up what's known as a Roth IRA, which is an individual retirement account. This doesn't have the exact same tax benefits as a 401k, but it is a way for you to invest in, your retirement assets, and that's also an option if you don't have a 401k. Retirement investing is a long-term thing. So, your money in those investment accounts will probably stay 25, 30, 35 years. So those are really long range investment accounts. Anything else that's not retirement or for really long-term goals like retirement, you can invest in shorter term brokerage accounts that don't have those restrictions and don't have those penalties, but unfortunately they're not going to have the tax benefits that a 401k has. Other types of investing, everything else that's not retirement, such as maybe saving up for a home or a vacation, or buying that fancy bag or piece of jewelry that you've had an eye on, those are shorter term investments, and they have different investment vehicles. So examples of these brokerage accounts are pretty much anything that's not a retirement account, but it doesn't have those limitations as those employer-sponsored 401ks or Roth IRAs have. So you'll have a little bit more freedom and flexibility, but you don't always get those tax benefits associated with like an employer-sponsored 401k. But again, this is for people who potentially have maxed out their 401k already or are trying to save for shorter-term goals. So that is an option for you if you're interested in that as well. Step number 4 is to actually choose an investment strategy. And I think this is where things get tricky for a lot of people and people start to get intimidated by investments and they're like, I don't really know how to invest. So there's 2 main investment strategies in finance that I think are the most common. One is an active approach to investing and the other is a more passive approach to investing. So an active approach to investing is one that you kind of see in the movies and one that's, I'd say, a little bit more harder and intimidating for people, especially getting started in finance, even for someone like myself who works in the industry. It's an approach that you're buying and selling stocks constantly. You're doing research, which stocks to buy, which stocks to sell, constantly tracking the market, pretty much what you see on movies, on TV, and what you think about the stock market. And then there's a passive approach. So if you're choosing a passive strategy, I think it's perfect because you're going to have a less complicated, less time-consuming approach to investing. And the best way to go about this is with low-cost mutual funds or index funds. And these, again, are not really that expensive. You can get started with as little as $50. You don't need to be fancy. This is really basic way to get invested in the market. Usually through these index funds or mutual funds, you're invested with a robo-advisor or basically an algorithm that chooses stocks for you. And with that, you pay a small percentage fee of the returns that your fund is making. And that's how your money's growing. Once you've chosen a strategy and how much you're going to be willing to invest, you basically can go ahead online or in person, set up a brokerage account or whatever type of account you want and get started investing literally online after you watch this video with as little as $50 and from then kind of tracking your investments. And I think this is a really good gateway for people who are interested in investing. So with that knowledge, I hope you guys are able to review your finances, take a look at how much money you're going to be investing and starting today, choosing whether it's a passive strategy or an active strategy. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have on finance or investing and showing you and sharing my knowledge. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.